What's the word, guys? Life of J Simpson here. Before I start this Yap session, I just want y'all to damn, excuse me. Before I start this Yap session, excuse me. I want y'all to like, comment, and subscribe. You know, YouTube likes when people say things like that, but you know, you do what y'all want. But you know, for this topic, I just want y'all to. I want this topic to be about just not caring what people think. You know, since you know a lot of this goes on, like a lot of people say, you know, don't care what people think, keep going, this and that. I kind of want to give my own perspective on it. You know, given that the new things that I've done in my life, you know, like starting this YouTube channel, for example, this was like completely on a whim. Well, not on a whim. I wanted to make this channel regardless, but I think it came on a whim. Of the timing came on a whim. Like I just, you know, one day I just woke up and I was like, all right, I'm gonna make this channel. You know, I didn't really ask people. Kind of just did it. You know, I think more in this life, things that you do, I think you should embrace it. I think you should do the things that make you comfortable. But to grow, you need to be uncomfortable, which, you know, that's the duality of it all. But I think not caring what people think in the long run benefits you, obviously. You know, doing things that, you know, you want to do, or your gut is telling you to do, or your heart is telling you to do, always benefits you in the long run. Because at the end of the day, you're the only one that lived this life, and you're the only one doing it for yourself. You know, you only die once. You live every day. So why live every day and live life trying to appease other people when, you know, it's only you at the end of the day. You were born alone. You're going to pass away alone. You know, you're going to face a lot of hardships alone. You know, you're going to spend a lot of time being alone. And, you know, even though I say all that today, I still heavily advocate for you to have a support system in anything you do. Because having a support system is just very beneficial. Obviously, both things can be true. But when you're doing things like this, like when you're taking risk and when you're doing things to better yourself, sometimes you have to just do things that you just have to just do it. Not even have to. There's nothing like there's no prerequisites for it, but you should definitely do it with the mindset for you. You should not be thinking about it to appease others. Because if you do that, you find yourself with no identity, alright? And because you think, because you do things on your own and you start to have no identity, it starts to catch up to you, right? Like, think about all the things, think about like, you know, for example, think about like yes men, right? Yeah, think about like yes men. Like, yes men are always just around. But yeah, yes men are always just around, just saying yes. They don't do things for themselves. They don't think for themselves. They don't do things they want to do. They just say yes to a person to appease them. They don't, you know, they don't give it further thought. You don't want to live life like that. And you don't want to live life like that in your own world and for other people. Because you doing things that aren't for yourself is essentially you being yes men to other people, or, you know, in that sense, if that makes sense. I'm trying to see how I could like explain it into words, because in my mind, I know what I'm talking about, but I'm trying to put it out into words. How can I explain this? So, for example, I'm using another example. Let's say, boom, college, right? I just graduated college. A few of my friends just graduated college. Think if you were in school, right? Even if you never went to college, think about high school, because a lot of people didn't go to college. Think about just school in general, and think about the very beginning of school. Think about middle school onwards. Think about that time, middle school, high school, and if you went to college, think about college, right? Think about the beginning of those stages, right? In middle school, think about all the people you're friends with, and think about how you were as a person when you first started, right? Especially in a new environment. You typically, copied other people, and you molded into how they were to fit in. Whether you subconsciously did it or you purposely did it, you've done it, because that's how we are as people. Excuse me. The comfort, and it's gonna make sense when I expand upon it, but the comfort in that comes, the copying and the molding is the comfort in that. That's where the comfort lies, because you see everybody else doing it, and to fit in and to kind of be part of societal norms, you do that. But I think just doing things for yourself is just very beneficial, because in the long run, it's only you. I don't want to repeat myself. This is one of those topics that are just very, like everyone talks about it. It's very straightforward. I think just if you struggle with not being able to do things on your own, I think you need to, here's something, in my humble opinion, I think you need to, isolate yourself from people. I'm not saying stop talking to people, period, but isolate yourself to the point where you deal with things on your own, and you work problems on your own, and you find hobbies and alternatives to do things on your own. Like, write poetry, go running, going to the gym, meditating, introducing these hobbies that you can do by yourself is a great way to build character, find your purpose in life, and allow you to be more disciplined in the face of adversity. I definitely can say that even though my whole life I've always told myself that it's for me, I never cared or gave a fuck about my peers to an extent to where I was doing it for them to look a certain way, because I was always taught at a very young age by all the people that raised me that you should never care what people think, because at the end of the day, they were going to think what they thought about you regardless. So I always catered and did things in my life for me and for the people I love, but mostly for me. As a human growing up, subconsciously and in the back of my mind, I was naturally doing it to what would appease to my peers, but it was never to the point where everything I did was for the validation of my peers. I think now more than ever, social media has allowed that even more. Just seeing things and people doing things for clicks and views and engagement, and not really doing things that they're destined for just to appease people online, has plagued this generation and just the society in general. You've probably seen so many videos of pranks where people are degrading people, degrading themselves, embarrassing people. That's always been around, but I think it's been worse than ever. Just regular people. Well, that was even the case before, but it's more rampant. Just to get a few laughs. Most of the time, it don't even be laughs. Most of the time, it don't even be laughs. People are in the comments "What are you doing? You're crazy. You're doing too much." But yeah, I don't know. This was a quick Yap session. I think it was just something in my mind because this came up in my head. But just for the future, for myself and for everyone else watching, everything you do has to be with purpose and intention. But the intention and purpose have to align with how you feel about yourself and how you want to do for yourself, how you want to be reflected upon yourself, not even to other people, because how you reflect to yourself, good or bad, will reflect to other people naturally. right? So just keep that in mind, I think. And if no one hasn't told you this, you're doing great in life. You need to keep going. You need to realize that not every day is going to be easy, and not every day is going to be hard. Life is about balance, and both of those things will balance itself out. For the people that praise God and, the high power, God, the most cliche thing on earth that people always say, in the face of hardship, which is true, God gives his battles to his strongest soldiers. So when you think things aren't going your way, or you feel like things aren't going your way, it is best to just push through, because it happens like that for a reason. But never just continuously be like that. You just have to realize that it's growing pains, and it will better you as a person. So with that being said, hope you enjoyed this Yap session. Keep going, don't stop. And if you want to start something, start it now, because tomorrow is not promised. I said a crazy before I go. There's an Instagram caption I said. Hold on, let me see if I can find it real quick. I want to end off on this because I feel like this is a good quote for this Yap session. So boom, I said, "Thank God I never had to wait for a new year to be a new me. I don't know what you're waiting for. Should have been yesterday. Tomorrow is only something you get in the movies." Feel me? It's on my Instagram, The Life of J Simpson, same as this on the page. So if you want to go look at that, check it out. But that caption is a fact. Don't wait till tomorrow. Should have been yesterday. Because tomorrow is never promised. It's either you do it now, should have been yesterday. If you think about it, you should have did it then. So, with that being said, I've said this 30 times, but I'm really out here. Just whatever you want to do in life, just do it now. And don't wait. Don't procrastinate. Just do it. Because there's no game plan. There's no blueprint. And believe in yourself. Do it for you, or do it something you stand for. But on that note, y'all stay blessed. Y'all like, comment, subscribe. Y'all have a good one.